you have a GPU node in your cluster, and you need to make sure regular pods never accidentally land there and waste that expensive hardware. How do you block them? This is part 19 of the Kubernetes series. On day 18, we use node affinity to attract the pod towards a node. But that only works if the pod is well behaved and set the right affinity. What if a random pod with no affinity at all still gets scheduled there by default? In this case, you need a way on the node itself to reject the pods unless they are explicitly allowed in. Think of a node like an apartment building. On day 18, we talked about a tenant requesting a unit. Taints are the building putting up the sign. Residents only. You need a key card to enter. Without that key card called the toleration, no pod can get past the front door, no matter how much it wants to be in. Let's understand this. You add a taint to your node using kube control taint nodes, node name, and key is equal to value effect. So there are three possible effects here. No schedule, prefer no schedule, no execute. No schedule. New pods cannot be scheduled there unless they tolerate it. Existing pods are not evicted. Prefer no schedule. It is a soft version. Kubernetes tries to avoid scheduling here, but it is not guaranteed. No execute. It is the stickiest one. New pods cannot schedule here, and existing pods without a matching toleration are actively evicted. Look at this toleration pod.yml file. A toleration will go in the pod spec, and it has to match the taints, key, value, and effect. There is also an operator field equals check for exact value and exists check if the key is present regardless of the value. So I will use demo.sh for all my commands and get all the code from the YouTube post. Kube control taint nodes adds the taint dedicated is equal to GPU no schedule to our node. Understand? Now this node will reject every pod by default. Taint applied. So this is our no toleration pod. Now let's apply this pod created. This pod has no toleration. Can you see? The kube control get pods showing the status as pending. It means it's stuck. The taint blocked it completely. It will stay in pending forever unless we remove the taint or add the toleration. Look at this toleration pod.yml file. So it has a toleration matching dedicated equal GPU and with effect no schedule. And with effect no schedule and operator equals. It means it's explicitly saying that I know this taint, I accept and let me in. Can you see? My toleration pod is running. It's not in pending state. That means this pod is scheduled right on the taint node. Here the toleration is the key card. The other pod is still stays in pending. So the key takeaways: taint make the node repel pods by default, and toleration are the explicit permission a node needs to get past this taint. Use no schedule to protect node and use no exit to also evict the existing pod. That's all for today. Everything is on YouTube community post. Please check it out. Practice yourself. Thanks. Follow for more.